There we go. Money.
Wow, that was amazing. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got a special guest here today. Aussie Beef Ollie flew in from Sydney last night to give me a lesson today.
Zombie, nice to meet you, mate.
Thank
Finally.
you for coming on.
No worries.
We're gonna go over the common mistake and common problem that everyone faces in their golf swing, the early extension and the club getting a little bit steep and swing over the top. So let's go straight into it.
Sure, great. All right, Zombie.
Yep, so what I struggle with my shots is, especially the miss hits, it's the club getting a little bit steep and then I end up pulling all my shots.
Okay.
So I think it's caused by partially my trail knee coming forward.
Yep.
And then that kind of promotes the little over the top swing.
Yep.
It's not that detrimental, but
sure.
Yeah, my miss hits are caused by that, I think.
What's your miss hit then? Fat or hooky?
Thin.
Okay. Okay. Any injuries, that kind of thing?
My lower back.
Lower back?
Yeah, I've been starting to get like a lot of pain in my, like next to my
your glute?
Yeah, my glute, my coccyx.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll test a few things and see what we can and can't do.
Okay.
What shot are you trying to play? What sort of ball flight do you like rolling
I'm trying to
with?
hit a fade here.
Okay.
Emphasis on try.
Yeah. Okay. Pure.
So I caught that a little bit fat. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, my miss hit from that would be, it just goes left and it just stays out left.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily like draw or
Well, when you're playing really well, what shot do you like to see mostly?
cut.
A cut?
Yeah.
Butter fade? Yeah.
See, that one I caught really well. I felt like I was able to get my hands forward.
How often are you hitting balls? Practicing? I know you do a lot of content, but you're on the range much?
Not often.
Yeah.
Not often.
Yeah.
I thought when I quit my job, I'd be playing golf every single day, but it's the complete opposite. I'm just sitting on my desk and just editing all day.
Preach.
I'm a little bit stiff.
If you follow our social media, it's not as much golf as you think it is.
No,
is it?
no, it's not. No.
Yeah. You obviously have a really good knowledge of the golf swing. Is this a problem you've had for a while, or?
Yeah, it has been.
Yep.
So what I've been trying to do when I'm out on the course, I try not to change much, but I don't know why it causes that. But when I do start pulling it too much, I try and keep that like quite straight.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't come over.
In transition or?
Yeah,
on
in transition.
Okay.
Yeah, in transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mate, I'm just going to get a few videos here and we'll have a look at it, see if I can help you.
And that's another thing. I tend to lose a lot of balance.
Towards the end?
Yeah, towards the end, yeah.
Just go 2 more for me, bud.
Yep.
Do you feel like you struggle for space in transition?
I feel like I get very stuck.
Yeah.
So I know it's weird, but my usual pre-shot routine is trying to keep that club face as open as possible.
Okay.
Like almost like dragging it.
Yeah.
So that when I do get stuck, it's not so closed. At least it's slightly open, and then I can keep it square. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
It's really weird.
Yep. Okay. Mate, obviously, really good golf swing. Firstly, let's kind of talk about what actually is early extension, because there's different ways it can kind of come about for different people, right?
Yeah.
So essentially what you're saying there is in transition, you're getting coming out of your tilts, right? More or less thrusting towards the golf ball, my head pulling back, losing all your rotation, your front bend, side bend, right? So no pressure in the ground, that kind of thing. So we have to find out why specifically for you that is happening, or even if that is the sort of area we need to look at, right? So we're gonna have a little look here because it's pretty interesting, I think. The answer to your swing, in my opinion, the answer to your swing is actually on your takeaway, right? I think you really struggle, which is probably not the domino piece you're probably focusing on, right? You're focusing more on the transition and the impact feel, right? So there's two things we can do here. I think that we need to create a little bit more depth and a little bit more rotation into your right side, so your glute, which you also said that was a little tight at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do here, see how your right leg is flexed there?
Yeah.
So as a byproduct of that, your way of shallowing the golf club is to come out of your posture. You see your head kind of kicks back there.
Yeah.
The lower body fires too early, right? So this next frame, you can see we just get really stuck coming into the ball. It looks good. You have shallowed the club. You are in flexion with your, your wrist angles, but it's just not synced up.
No.
Right? You can kind of see that. It's a bit, when you slow it down, even though aesthetically it's really nice, you can see it's more the sequencing of the two. Okay. So what we're going to do is actually work on your takeaway and trying to create a little bit more depth in the stretch phase, which is then going to make transition a lot easier, and then the impact is going to be quite reactionary.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Is that a word? Reactionary?
Yeah, go with that.
Right,
we're in Australia, Beef. We create whatever word.
We'll just abbreviate it. All right. So probably not the area you were looking for, right? Yeah. The takeaway, sort of creating more space. At the end of the day, for you, it's about creating more space. And then I think that transition phase is going to be a lot easier to manage. So it's a little bit different for everyone where that sort of issue comes from. But for you, I really think it is to do with you loading up into your trail leg and getting that pocket. I always say like getting tall through your backswing, right? Okay. So if you were, say, starting a lawnmower and I'm pulling here, you can see I'm lengthening my right side and that right leg is straightening up, right?
Okay, yeah.
Whereas yours was quite
Am I
bent.
just holding that angle too much?
I think your energy...
try not to strain my leg too much.
Why is that?
Because then I feel like that's a shortcut of thinking that I've turned. Because you can, I feel like, you can turn without doing your upper body.
Yeah, you can fake it. You can fake, for sure, you can fake that look of straightening your leg, right? Or extending your trail leg there. So we can usually tell when that's the case, but I just don't think you have enough depth in your swing and the energy isn't enough into that right heel, right? So what I want you to do is take your setup.
Yep.
And there's a couple of sort of feels and things we can get for free at the address position here. So if that's our setup, we're gonna kind of fan our right foot out just slightly. There we go. Yep, you can even go another sort of 5 degrees there. Yep, there we go. Okay. I'm gonna get you to step on this golf ball, so on the toe. And what I want you to do here is, on that takeaway, I want you to feel like it's not just your shoulders doing the work, it's more that sort of free-flowing chest move.
Okay.
Right? Especially if you're playing a lot, I don't think that you should be too always wrapped up in positions of the golf swing, right? So you want to actually try and go through sort of the positions with some flow, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of feel here that you're loading up, using the ground on the takeaway, and just swing it up to the top for us.
Yeah.
Stay there. Can we get a little bit more into that? There we go. How does that feel? Different?
Yeah. I feel very horizontal.
Great. Okay, that's fine. Try and get it to extend a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to do it again. Try and stay nice and loose. And we're going to move in to the top of the swing there. So you definitely have more pressure sort of through that right glute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is crazy.
Right? Yeah. Right. Great. So what we're going to do? That's
is
just
that
a
great?
feel.
I'm in pain.
That's great. It's fine. That's the thing. We got to kind of see what we can do with your body. You're a young, fit dude. So I almost like to see the right toe almost lift when I see how it just the toes.
Yep.
Toes coming up there, but we want to feel nice and tall. So that's the first part we need to get right.
Okay.
Let's see where we are at. Stay there. That's really good. Maybe just a little bit more. There we go. Is that okay?
Yep.
Doesn't hurt?
Yep.
Okay. It's a cold day here in Melbourne as well. We're straight into filming. That's good. So I think if we can get a little more depth, and that's a really good trail arm position, good wrist angles, we need this to then get the next part, which is actually going to feel like you're moving towards me and then drop the club. So it's sort of like a bump and drop.
Yeah.
As opposed to this position before where you were already spinning. See that?
Absolutely.
And now you're jammed up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bad shots you can do from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's creating more side here. So as if
more
my
space.
back is towards a target for a bit longer.
Correct.
And I'm coming in like that.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
When you extend, essentially there's no pressure in the ground, right?
Yeah.
You get to the top here, you got no depth. You're a smart guy or athletic guy, you've figured out how to shallow the club.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even though aesthetically looks really good, when you slow it down, you can kind of just see the timing and the sequencing was
When
was
I
out.
look at my swing at normal speed, it looks great. But when I slow it, like not many people see my swing slowed down. And but I look at it slowed down every single time, and it's not pretty.
It was funny when I was looking at your swing. I'm like, I don't know if I can find much in this. And then when I slowed it down, I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to rip it apart. But it's actually a lot more simple than you think. Where we're actually focusing less to do with the arms to create the space, and more to do with our sort of pivot system, our rotation, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many drills we can do to try and kind of, get that full turn. You've obviously done a bunch where you're just doing basic pivot drills, but anything to get you specifically working all the way and getting a lot deeper in the golf swing with your body.
Yep.
Okay, so that's stuff you could easily do at home, even if you are editing or whatnot. You can get up and go up against
while
the
my
wall.
video is exporting, I can just be
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, get that full turn.
Yeah.
Tension as well is a big thing for me. So stay nice and loose, and we're just trying to load up and get like an inch taller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. I think when we try, I've just sort of given you a bunch of information. I think it's probably best not to go at 100%.
Too crazy, yeah.
Slow motion. And I know you like to give it a rip. I've seen your videos. But if we could just maybe go like 70% for now.
Sure. Okay. Yep.
There we go. So if we're drawing the ball there, that's a good sign. I think you would have felt a little bit more space there, yeah?
A lot more.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Awesome. So once we've sort of identified the issue or the domino piece, we'll start moving into phase 2, which is that transition phase of, trying to keep your angles and your tilts.
Yeah.
There we go. How much better is that?
Yeah. I felt like I could really just release my arms through that shot.
Yeah. It's a really good feel as well when you're playing to, in transition, just actually kind of get the pressure going from that right heel there. As I'm transitioning, for you, it's just drifting back, a little more pressure, as opposed to when that knee's kicking out, you're sort of spinning, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I like that nice deep turn, and then we're actually gonna just try and get more, as you said, back to the target for longer.
Yep.
But as you're doing that, as that's starting your transition, you're sort of bumping and dropping that right shoulder into the slot.
Sure,
Yep.
okay.
Lovely. Hey, at least we're owning that ball flight, right? It's predictable. Whereas at the start, it was like, that way,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So it's like, if you create space there,
That's a perfect drill for hitting a draw. Like, I would even set up like that to hit a draw, hit a shot on the course.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep. Nice. Really, really good. Notice I almost said nice before you make contact. It's really predictable, right? Yeah. That last part, we'll start covering it a little bit more for sure.
Okay.
But I think, do you feel that backswing starting to get, or your loading phase is starting to get a little bit deeper here?
I just feel like there's just so much room here.
Yeah.
That I cannot come over, and it feels like I'm coming a lot from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And then being able to throw my club. I'm just now worried if I get too used to this, I'm gonna start overdrawing the shot.
We'll get to that last bit. I don't want to get the club or the hands too far out in front of you, because you weren't really in sync. I think once we tighten this part up, again, there's sort of phases to this, we can then really start working on extending through a bit more and kind of lining everything up and just a little less going on. Yeah.
Sure, okay. So one more.
There we go. Beautiful, man. You're getting more distance as well, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, don't hit it too far on me today.
Effortless.
Yeah. First, I've got to kind of identify the issue of why someone's early extending, or figure them out a little bit. But I think for you there, it was just sort of cause and effect. You weren't getting the depth, and then you were figuring out, trying to fire the hips, and then so nice deep turn, and then we're going to just drift back and create all that space.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Just almost before the shot, I like to almost just create a little bit more tilt.
Okay.
There we go. Good. So again, once we've allowed your hips to open up. Even this drill, you know, we know we're supposed to rotate, but then most of the people I teach don't have the full range of motion. So for, say, senior golfers watching this, or people that like aren't that mobile, once we sort of allow our sort of trail foot to open up and just kick it back, you can see there my hips are already closed, right? So they don't have to travel as far as if I would be square, right? So yeah, that's a really good drill, that bowler's drill. It's one I do all the time, especially because so many people come over the top and you know,
this is
hit
so
slices.
simple. It, honestly, as soon as you close your stance and create so much room with a tilt, in order for you to come over the top, it's almost impossible. Like you have to be pretty special. From this position to then now try and come over.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's still doable. People still do it, but I think a lot of people watching this probably don't pay enough attention to sort of tilts in their golf swing. So you can see here my lower body is leading my upper body here. So you can see as I'm sort of coming back here, I'm just slotting it so easily, where a lot of people get to the top. I teach so many people. I'm telling you, a lot of people, you know that, right? That so many people come over the top and hit slices. So you can see there, I'm just not in the ideal tilt here, right? So yeah, for you, just getting to the top here, and then the lower body starting the transition first, and you just not rushing with it too much.
So now my question would be, I prefer hitting a fade. From that same exact feeling, what would I need to change? Or
look, we don't have to dissect we don't have to break it down, right? You obviously still can hit fades and hit good shots. So you've got to be able to sort of balance the technical stuff we've just gone through and the changes, I think, which will allow that skill set to come through. Obviously, one is just doing more random practice, like, you know, trying to start the ball left of this first flag 10 times in a row. And again, even if you're struggling with it, it's just try and get that window, right? We could chuck the bucket here out in front of us and just do everything we can to sort of like exit 11 o'clock. I think for you specifically, I think if we could just focus a little bit more on, say, a 9 to 3 swing, I feel like when you turn it over, that the hands are getting away from you and you're just sort of stuck at impact. So we're going to focus more on the end of your swing now. What I want you to feel here, we still want to fade the ball from a shallow position, correct? Yeah. Okay. So I want you to bring it down to, say, this position on the downswing, where we're going to be here. The pressure's in the ground. Cool. I think with this last part, we're going to then cover the ball by turning. That's it. And I want you to really focus on your finish position here. So we're just going to go to 3 o'clock on the follow through, but I actually want you to move with it a little bit more. There we go. Okay. There we go.
Wow. Okay.
Different?
Yeah.
Whereas usually you're still sort of stuck here and you get a little bit flippy there.
Like,
your hands come out, right? Do you feel that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So we're just going to go from 9 o'clock, which 9 o'clock on the backswing. We're still turning. We're still, you know, getting that depth. Just left arm parallel, 9 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock. And I just want you to hold that finish. Just relax a little bit. There we go. But try and move with it a bit more. There we go. So often when I'm focusing on more, I guess, the hitting zone, I'm playing around a lot with where I want the club to be delivered from, where I want the club face, right? It's really easy to get stuck in positions, but at the end of the day, the club face is the CEO of the golf swing.
Right, okay. Right? All right, so I'll try and extend more and then go with the...
just like a punchy fade. Punchy fade, but you're still sort of in that... You're still getting nice and deep there. Okay.
Well, I mean, that was a fade.
It's a fade. Push fade. Yep. We might need help here. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Obviously, we're starting left of this. What I want you to do, just place the club here. We're just going to put the club here behind the ball. And what I want you to do is just sort of drag to the follow through and up. Okay. Move with it a bit more. There we go. Good. One more time. Drag and up. There we go. Good. Now just start doing a few sort of takeaways. Hinge the club. Stop there. And keep the club out in front. There we go. Hit the ground, follow through. I really like hitting the ground on my feels, on my practice swings. I like to keep the club moving through impact here. And up. There we go. See how you just, the finish tells a story, right? You're synced up there. That's great. Hit some shots.
Okay.
I don't care if this goes 80 meters, 100 meters. But we want to start at left of this orange stick and hold that finish. Okay, get in there.
So I'm still keeping my feet closed and then back.
Yeah. I actually, in this finish, I almost want you to keep that right heel down throughout the swing. It'll come up a little bit, but instead of kicking this way, it's gonna actually stay down. You see, like, say a Victor Hovland or a Tiger, they bank that right heel. So come up, stay there, start your downswing, and you're like in there. And then once we're there, we can then extend, but I'm gonna hold that and go up. Different?
Yeah.
Cool.
Jeez.
There we go. Pure. That was nice.
That was nice.
And then just start creeping back to a normal setup. I think part of the problem with people and their faults, they don't exaggerate it enough to try and fix it. So say the feel for early extension is like, if we're using the ground, I wouldn't mind if that's your feel, you know, there's you're using that ground, that right heel's kind of like sticking into the ground as the head's moving forward, right? As opposed to coming back and thrusty. So any sort of step drill would be really good. You mind if I go?
Yeah.
So any sort of step drill and that feel of, these are a bit short for me. So that, you know, when you're not using the ground or spinning, I would really try and to get moving, especially 90% of people aren't moving forward enough, right? So when I am doing this sort of punchy fade shot, it's like that could be my feel into the ground, extend, and you can see there the divot's just a little bit more compressed. Right? But we're going to get to the top, step, baby cut.
Wow.
Okay, so starting at left there. And you'll see on camera there, I'm definitely...
Beef, that was textbook.
That was good, right? Under pressure. Really, so I'm staying on the wall, right? But then my belly button's facing the target. You see that the right foot's going to be banked, right? And then, you know, there's the performance side of just shaping shots and mucking around. So it's definitely a fine line between working on your swing, but then also, you know, we're going to go play now. I definitely don't want to be thinking of all this stuff when I'm playing. All right, show us a 9 to 3 here. Pure. See how you're compressing that a little bit more? I want you to do one more. We're just really going to try and hit a fade, like your life depends on it.
Okay.
And that feel through, once we get here, we're forward on it, and then clear that left side, and you can just see that's such a good impact position.
Okay.
Maintaining your tilts, and the way that sort of trail knees now working this way as opposed to kicking forward. Okay. That's all that space through.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Money.
Wow, that was amazing.
It's nice, mate. We'll go easy on me this afternoon.
You know, I think I'm just gonna have to hit punch shots for our run.
Punchy fades, You're getting loopy and So for you specifically, I think focus more on the loading phase, the backswing, and then we can start letting it drift naturally here. Create all that space, and then we can play around with that last part. Whether you want to hit draws or fades, I mean, we'll figure that out on the golf course and playing around a bit with it.
That's a wrap, guys. Priceless information and value. Thank you so much, Beef. Thank you for flying all the way to Melbourne.
No worries,
thank you, PGA Academy, for letting us film today and having us out today.
Great facility.
Yeah, it's really nice. And the weather was actually okay today, so
we got lucky.
Thank God. The Mother Nature knew we were coming today. And,
hopefully we'll get a few holes in.
Yeah, no, we will definitely be playing some holes this afternoon. We're going to go over some course management styles and a friendly match.
Something like that.
Might not be friends
My
after
channel?
this, but
I got something in line for you.
So head over to Aussie Beef's channel. I'll link it in the description below. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
No worries.